Never in a million years would I have ever guessed I would own a C5 Corvette. So welcome to Garage Topics. If you're new to this channel, you're like, oh man, this guy's cool. If you're not, you're like, what the hell is this guy doing? Selling his S2000 for a C5 Corvette. Very different, but somewhat similar in my opinion. The original plan for me to replace the S2000, I was going to buy an LS swap car or get one to LS swap. The one I pinpointed down, I was going to buy an E46 M3 and LS swap it. That was the plan. I was this close to buying one, and the more and more I thought about it was, I just closed my eyes. Before I closed my eyes, I wrote down everything I wanted out of a car. This car fit the bill for the price you can get them for nowadays. They're incredible. They used to be $50,000 cars, they're not anymore. When thinking about buying an E46 M3 to LS swap, my first thought I went through my mind was trying to buy a rebuilt one or one from Copart. You see them all the time. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you get screwed. For nice cars like this, Copart doesn't bother me having a rebuilt car as long as you know what actually went wrong with it. If you don't have no clue, don't buy one. If you know a thing or two about cars, you can kind of determine if one's a good one or not. Long story short, once I determined that a C5 Z06, particularly Z06, I love the body lines on them. When I opened up my eyes to a potential rebuilt one, this one popped up. And the only reason I was considering this one is because the owner himself bought it and fixed it himself. And so I have all the pictures of this car. It spun out, I guess, black ice, bent the rear control arm and messed up all the side panels. And this whole car is fiberglass. So instead of it denting, it just cracks and destroys. So small stuff like that will total one of these out in a second. He did a really good job. It's not his first rodeo. He replaced all the panels, had them all professionally painted. The car looks incredible now. Drives dead straight. He had a lift at his house, so we put the car up on a lift to take a look and make sure everything was straight and done appropriately. I mentioned it was cheap. Paid somewhere in the range of 10 grand for this, for a running, driving C5 Z06 with a cam in it. I'll go over the mods here, what's got in it. So it has a Vengeance Racing Vindicator cam. It's got hardened push rods, LS7 lifters, it has Brian Tooley Racing dual valve springs with
2 hours later.
Alright, so it's got a big cam in it, sounds really good. It's got 130,000 miles, it's an LS, it should last forever. Not really. I don't know what's going on with this car, but it's got some issues. Next video is going to be going over those issues, trying to diagnose what's wrong with it. I knew it had issues. I got it for a cheap price of what I considered. Let me know if you think this is a good price or not. Let me know if you got one of these. I drove it an hour and a half home. It drives okay, but part of the reason why I got it cheap is it's got some issues. I'm going to wait for another video to show you all the issues on the car. I'm okay with that. I wanted something that I could tackle as a project. I'm hoping it's not too big of a project because stuff will be broken. Here's the engine bay, looking fresh. You can see the long tube headers down there. It's got some heat resistant stuff. These are gonna be going though because they just make my hands blue like crazy. This side looks alright, but when I take it to the other side, it looks pretty ghetto. This is what I'm talking about. This seems really odd to me. The coil bracket is painted blue, and then the stock coils are painted red to represent MSD. But I don't know why they did this. Other cheap things is, this intake tube is black stock. They painted it red and then decided to paint it black again. Same thing with this. So I'll see if I can find replacements. Not gonna worry about that too much right now, but these coils I'm gonna probably let go soon because I don't trust that they've been spray painted. It had a catch can. I took the catch can off because I'm trying to troubleshoot some issues, which I mentioned I'll put in another video. I'll do another video going over all the issues with this car. Small things here and there, like paint issues, like that there's the biggest paint issue. This side wasn't totaled. This side was the one that's totaled, and it looks really good. These wheels are good. The tires are really good on here. Really fresh tread. The back tires, I wish they were matching, but the back two tires are Michelin Pilot Super Sports. Big thing with these Z06s is they're a fixed roof coupe, so it doesn't have that big bubble here like the hatch is. There's actually a trunk back here. I just think they look really good. This one is not lowered at all, so that'll have to come in the future. Let me show you the trunk. Same size storage as a regular C5, but instead of it being a hatch, it's a trunk access. It's probably limiting, but space inside is about the same. Surprisingly, a lot of room in these cars, which is pretty neat. But yeah, man, this thing is fresh. I love the color. Other mods this car has done to it is It has C6 Z06 seats. The stock C5 seats in these cars, in my opinion, are garbage. These seats are a lot nicer. Still leaves a little bit to be desired. Another thing I couldn't stand is the stock shifters on these are miserable. This is a C6 Z06 shifter. Looks a whole lot nicer. Gauge cluster in these cars is actually really nice. It's just all the other stuff in the car is just so cheap, but you can replace all this, and once you do that, it's actually a really nice place to be. I've always been hesitant of these things because the interiors on them are just kind of garbage. Alright, so the car's got 130,000 miles on it now. All of those mods that I mentioned before were done at 129,000 miles. So this mods only have 1,000 miles on it. The story goes is that the owner did all the mods, had it for 1,000 miles a year, sold it. The guy who bought it from him totaled it within 2 weeks, black eyes. Other little ghetto things, it's not too ghetto. I guess it would have been nice back in the days that they added this sticker here. I think it says 5.7 liter LS6. You can barely see it, but it's just faded, so we'll get rid of that. That'll be nice when that's taken care of. I've waxed and washed it just to make sure it was a good, clean car, and it's a definite 5-foot car. If you come up close, you can kind of see this paint peeling in random spots like that, and this trunk here is not the best condition of paint. But I tell you what though, it's not a 10-foot car, it's a 5-foot car, and it looks really good for what I'm planning on doing with it. If you've never driven a Corvette, go drive one. I bashed on these cars for years, and I actually drove one. I'm like, these are incredible cars, because you just see a bunch of old people driving, no offense, but there's a reason for that. Cruising, they're an awesome cruiser on the highway, and they get like almost 30 miles per gallon, but if you want to flug it, you can. So they're a pretty versatile car, I think. If you got any questions, let me know. If you want to bash me, let me know. I'll take it, I guess. If your dog likes Corvettes, let me know in the comments. Make sure he likes them, or else make sure he likes cars, you know. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. Check me out on Instagram. Peace out.